All right, guys, today is September the 18th, 2024. It's time for us to start shifting gears in the old YouTube channel. You'll see what I did there in just a second. All right, guys. We're getting ready to move back to vehicles for a while. Poor old Jeep's been just kind of sitting here, and I've got to do something about the ride on it. It is riding terribly. I know I was doing the interior first, but when I say it's terrible, it's a hazard to go down the street in. So I think I'm gonna get a lift kit in here pretty soon that's gonna drop this thing way down. I decided, again, I don't know if you remember, these are 31-inch tires. I'm gonna run a 33 12.5 like I had on my last Jeep. So I think I can drop all the way down to a 2-inch lift, which should help with the ride, because this thing's terrible, man. And I mean terrible. I've had many and many Jeeps, and they all rode, you know, they rode like a Jeep, but you could still drive them down the street safely. This one's got some sort of problem, and I'm hoping that'll fix it. If not, we're gonna get on to it. All right, the next big thing is the Corvette. May actually even start on it tonight, not sure yet. Nothing's really moved. I've got it jacked up in the air. Gotta sweep out under here, get the cat litter out from under there. And then we're gonna change the pan gasket on the transmission and the motor. Also want to see, once I get that off, if this is a 4-bolt main. That'll depend on if I'm going to keep this motor or if I'm going to move it out. So we'll find out on that very shortly. Today, oh, and I'm also going to go ahead and get this thing charged on up. I've got to get this for sale before winter sets in. But today, I should say last night, my son come out to get in his truck and it was dead. This has been a damn good truck. We've had it forever and really haven't had any issues with it, knock on wood. But the battery was dead. And I got a new one today, and I'm gonna replace it here shortly, and I couldn't believe it. It actually just sits right in there. This car over here, trying to get to the battery, is a nightmare. But it's also a project's gotta go. I'm fixing to, I'm either gonna give it away, but I gotta get it cleaned up. We'll try putting a new battery in it, see if it'll crank. It's been sitting for years. I pretty much made up my mind. This was my dad's old car. It's a great condition car, but I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna sell it. This has been my daily driver for the last couple of years, and there's really nothing wrong with it. But I think I'm gonna make the Jeep my daily driver. So I got to get to work on it, and I'm gonna bring you guys along. And then the Corvette we're gonna work on right now. All I want to do is get it running and drivable. I don't think there's a lot that I've got to do to it. The motor run fine. It's not a very strong motor or anything like that. It's got headers and stuff like that on it, but I want to drive it for a couple weeks and just see if I like it or not. I love the looks of it, but I'm just not sure yet if I want to keep it or not. There's other hot rods I'd probably rather have. One that have more room. This is a tight fit, but in the world of hot rods, you suffer to look cool. All right, well, let me show you. This is absolutely just for fun. My wife a little while back was at Harbor Freight. This is where I bought the little general toolbox, and I absolutely love it. I'd mentioned before I wanted to get a side shelf because without it, you just don't have room when I drag it out to the car to sit your stuff, and I find myself sitting stuff inside here and it just gets in the way. So the other day I was waiting on a guy, so I said, well, I'll just go ahead and throw this thing on. I just got to show you pure stupidity. All right, basically If I do it again, I'm gonna die. There's just 4 bolts. You take 4 bolts out and put 4 bolts back in. It holds it all, no problem. Well, as usual, I was by myself. And as I was working on this, I had bad memories. This only took a few minutes, but a lot of curse words. If you see my arm, I don't know if you can see 1, 2, 3 distinct locations. That's where this thing fell on it. And I don't think I can film it and reenact it, but as I'm trying to hold this up here, it's fairly heavy, not nothing bad. This thing would get top heavy and just fall. Well, every time, the first time hit me here, then here, and then there. I couldn't believe it. It fell 3 times in a row. I was screaming mad by the 3rd time because it was starting to smart. Well then, so I got the bright idea. I was holding my head here, and I pushed it over here, and what happened was one of the bolts was different, and I couldn't get the wrench in it from this angle. So I put my hand here, let go, and sure enough, this thing fell and smashed me right in the head. But you know, no, not right in the head. It had to slide down the side of my face. Well, for some reason, I didn't get marked up on my face. Guess I am a hard head, like my mom always said. But I do really like it. And yes, this comes in blue. But what has happened, this particular tool chest, I think they quit making. Pretty sure I saw that. And they only had a couple. They had a green one and a red one left. So I went with the American pattern, the red and the blue. So I just went with the red, which is absolutely fine by me. I'm pretty happy with it. And my wounds will remind me of it. That's what it looked like new in the box. We had bought one earlier, but it was for a different size box and it didn't fit. So it's now eBay sells. And then I've just got one more little thing to wrap up this video. Walk with me. Here's my beautiful little garden out here. Ah! Look at that. Will you look at that? Oh my goodness. Let me explain what happened. On one of my last garden videos, I'd mentioned that I was kind of shutting down the garden. So I started digging up a lot of the plants, like all these things here have no plants left in them. And then what happened, I had planted, oh, there's the dog, she's always waiting to greet us. I had planted 2 watermelons plants all the way back there. And those things just took off. They started growing everywhere. So I was getting ready to go back there and chop them all down and get rid of them. And then, to my surprise, see if you can see it. I don't know if you can even see it, but there was some fairly good sized watermelons in there. And at the time, there was a few out here. I really haven't been watering this or anything. But it is taken, and there's one right there in the planter. I haven't really even walked in here because I want to crush everything. I got to tear all my bell peppers down. The blackberries are still doing good. What's happened? Seeds are falling off the roof, grass seeds, and they're covering on top of my rocks. They're not growing through the tarp, but they're on top of it growing. But I can't really spray it because of all this mess. So I'm gonna give it a little bit more time, and then I'm gonna cut all this off. There goes swimming, girl. Yeah, she loves it. You can't keep that dog out of the pool. But anyhow, I think what I am gonna do is come through here and cut all these vines off that's outside the fence, because this was a lot bigger than this. I've been just kind of rerouting back over the fence. And believe it or not, watermelons are growing on them. Even up here, I don't see any right now, but they're real small. But I'll be honest, I haven't been watering it or nothing. And there's one there that dried up. And I think the strawberries, I just wasn't pleased with those this year, so I'm gonna dig all those out when I finally get back in here. And then I'm gonna round up everything, get rid of all these weeds, and get it looking nice again until next spring. All right, just wanted to kind of give you an update. I know I've been doing a lot on the gym lately, but I was just trying to get plenty of equipment in just in case we get shut down for the election. You know how that goes. But anyhow, besides that, I'll post this just to give you something to watch. What a mess. Ugh. And then we're going to move on to the next project, which is going to be a lot of car related stuff. There'll still be some gym stuff, I'm sure, thrown in from here and there, because I still got a few more pieces of equipment coming. But all right, talk to you guys next time.